One Piece is the biggest anime and manga series in the world, and it's not for no reason. It's got insanely likable characters and incredibly well-crafted storylines. But perhaps one of the coolest things about it, according to us anyway, is the concept of the devil fruit. Anyone who eats one becomes host to super cool powers. So in today's video, we're bringing you a list of awakened devil fruit users. Let's get started. Charlotte Katakuri. Katakuri ate the Mochi Mochi no Mi, a special Paramecia-type devil fruit that lets him create, control, and transform into mochi at will. His mochi is extraordinarily thick and sticky, allowing him to use it to ensnare even the most powerful adversaries, yet it loses its efficacy when exposed to moisture. The fruit enables Katakuri to avoid physical attacks in the same way that a Logia user would, except that instead of the attacks simply passing through his body, he uses his superior Kenbunshoku Haki to predict where he'll be hit and change the shape of his malleable mochi body accordingly to dodge with minimal movement. He often employs these talents in hand-to-hand fighting, growing many mochi tendrils on his body to serve as additional fists or legs. He may imbue these tendrils with haki to execute strong punches and kicks. By concentrating mochi into a single fist, Katakuri is capable of delivering punches of devastating power. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Doflamingo ate the Iro Iro no Mi, which grants him the ability to create and manipulate strings. He generally moves his fingers to bend them as he pleases, either to manipulate others, like puppets, or to bifurcate his goals. The strings are exceedingly thin and in some cases invisible, making it nearly difficult to see and avoid them. Doflamingo uses his parasite technique to drive his teammates to battle and even murder each other, while he waits on the sidelines and observes. He has demonstrated his ability to govern a huge number of individuals at the same time with little apparent effort. The strings may also be used to cut, allowing Doflamingo to easily sever body parts and destroy weaponry. He can also glide or fly in midair by attaching his strings to clouds, creating a sky path, as seen when he did so to cross over the seas to reach Punk Hazard from Dressrosa. Douglas Bullet. Bullet ate the Gasha Gasha no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to disassemble inanimate objects and assemble them into anything he wants with his mind. With this capacity, he can create a wide range of mechanical constructs, most notably exoskeletons that dramatically boost his physical strength. Bullet's devil fruit has awoken, allowing him to dismantle items from a larger distance. With his awakening, he can visually reconstruct the terrain of whole islands by combining its characteristics as he deems appropriate. And he can make and occupy a colossus with unprecedented physical presence. Eustace Kid. Kid ate the Jika Jika no Mi, a Paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to manipulate magnetic forces. He has the ability to attract and/or repel metal things at will, as well as produce magnetic fields that will allow him to arrange metal pieces into different configurations and structures. Kid can mold the metal items adhering to his body into a variety of shapes, his most typical method being to build a massive metal arm with which to launch tremendous assaults. This ability makes Kid an extremely dangerous opponent against fighters who employ metal weapons, as he can either deflect metal projectiles like cannonballs and bullets, or lure his opponent's blades and guns toward himself, to utilize as building material for his own strikes. Kid has reached Devil Fruit Awakening, granting him the ability to impose magnetic characteristics on objects other than his own body. He admits that he hasn't entirely handled his awakened powers, and it's taking a toll on him. Gil Tesoro. Tesoro ate the Gogo no Mi, which allows him to manipulate gold he has touched at will. He can utilize this power to produce massive rivers of liquid gold, capture his opponents, and infuse gold dust and flakes into other people's bodies, gradually transforming their skin into gold. He can also craft gold armor, which offers greater power and defense. He can control it to the point that he can build and operate a giant golden golem the size of a tower. He has been able to activate the abilities of his devil fruit since swallowing it, expanding the scope of his influence over gold and allowing him to use all of the gold in Gran Tesoro that he has touched as a sophisticated sensory network. Through this, he is able to detect attempted break-ins or attacks on the city. When utilizing large gold constructs, he is also capable of unleashing focused light beams or explosive forces that have an incredible destructive power. Mino Koala. Mino Koala is one of the 5 jailer beasts of Impel Down. He is an awakened zone devil fruit user that eats a devil fruit that allows him to turn into a koala. Minotaurus. Minotaurus is also another one of the 5 jailer beasts in Impel Down, and the first one to appear. He has eaten an as-of-yet named Zoan-type devil fruit that allows him to become a cow. Because he is an awakened zone, he is able to recover rapidly, even after suffering high amounts of damage. Mino Zebra. Mino Zebra is another one of the 5 jailer beasts of Impel Down. He has eaten an as-of-yet unnamed Zoan-type devil fruit that made him permanently become a zebra. He's an awakened zone too. Mino Rhinoceros. Mino Rhinoceros is another one of the 5 jailer beasts of Impel Down. He is an awakened Zoan devil fruit user, having eaten a devil fruit that allows him to turn into a rhino. Trafalgar Law. Law ate the Ope Ope no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit which allows him to conjure up a sphere of light blue aura inside which he may influence the fabric of space. Inside the aura sphere, he has total power over the fabric of space, known as the capacity to operate on anything within the spherical operation room. He can move items within the sphere telekinetically and make everything, including himself and other people, exchange positions via teleportation. He cannot, however, carry other individuals with powerful haki very far, since they are more resistant to Law's influence. He can even switch incorporeal objects like souls, causing the victims to swap bodies. He can also cut things from a distance, without really destroying them, as well as reassemble them into other combinations. He can even join living body parts to inanimate items. Even if the head is severed from the body, living beings sliced into pieces by this ability remain alive and able to move. Law can utilize his power to produce high-voltage energy, electrical energy to shock his opponents, and an energy sword to destroy his opponent's interior organs without leaving an outward wound. This ability can also be employed for medicinal reasons. Law has reached Devil Fruit Awakening, which allows him to construct and cling a little room to his weapons, permitting them to harmlessly transcend anything solid and directly function on the insides of anything they phase through. This immediately tackles one of the fruit's major flaws, the immobile nature of its area range. Law has admitted that he hasn't fully mastered his awakened skills, and that employing them takes a toll on his stamina. Okay, now these next 3 aren't full confirmations, but we're like 80% sure these guys are awakened. Kuzan, Aokiji. Kuzan has the powers of the Hiya no Mi, a Logia devil fruit that allows him to control, create, and become ice. In a matter of seconds, he can make enough ice to cover a mammoth, a sea king, or several square miles of water. He was even able to stop Whitebeard tsunamis despite their size exceeding that of Marineford. In battle, he uses his ice powers to paralyze and immobilize opponents, freezing their bodies solid by just touching them and threatening to break their delicate forms. He, like other Logia users, is capable of splitting himself in his specific element to dodge most physical strikes. This fruit is so potent that his use of it during his 10-day struggle with Akainu permanently altered the weather on one side of Punk Hazard, turning it into a freezing wasteland. This might be an indication that he has awoken his demon fruit. Akainu Sakazuki. Sakazuki possesses the Magu Magu no Mi, a Logia-class devil fruit which grants him the ability to transform his body into magma and manipulate it at will, as well as produce near-limitless amounts of it. Sakazuki, as a Logia, can let physical assaults pass through him unharmed, and can only be damaged by haki, sea stone, being caught off guard, and his elemental weakness. His ability is naturally greater than Ace's pyrokinetic skills, since the higher heat and smothering properties of his lava allowed him to effectively hurt Ace despite Ace's Logia defense, and eventually kill Ace as a result of this dominance. The devastating heat and explosive properties of the magma allow Akainu to do huge damage and easily defeat individuals like Emporio Ivankov and Jinbei. During the climactic 10-day struggle for the position of Fleet Admiral on Punk Hazard, Akainu demonstrated the ferocious power of his devil fruit by changing the weather and setting fire to one part of the island. We may presume Akainu has awoken his devil fruit because he was able to turn the surroundings into magma and lava. Crocodile. Crocodile ate the Logia devil fruit, Suna Suna no Mi, allowing him to become, generate, and manipulate sand. He has refined his ability to the point of perfection and can instantly transform into sand if assaulted. This became notably clear after Doflamingo severed his head while he was preoccupied. While in a desert, his abilities render him practically unbeatable. Crocodile has the capacity to produce massive sandstorms, many-bladed weapons, and quicksand. He can also use his right hand to suck all the moisture out of any item, alive or non-living. This power allows him to completely ruin his surroundings, destroying and macerating any biological material through dehydration. Crocodile himself stated that he had perfected his devil fruit, implying that he had awoken it. Click on one of the 4 videos on screen right now.